Welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett.
I'm Dorian.
We got some nerd news for you.
We do. So we're going to be talking about J.J. Abrams' Superman movie, some of the latest details on that. We're also going to be talking about the latest MCU movie news and what COVID is looking like nowadays with like the box office and the COVID era. But first things first, we got a new Stranger Things season 4 teaser. So
Yeah.
didn't really show like a ton. It wasn't like mind blowing or like really like it didn't show like a whole lot of stuff that, you know, if you've watched the show, you pretty much already knew about it. But essentially what it is it's a teaser about like the Hawkins lab, and it shows the main director.
Bunch
I
of
forget.
kids.
Yeah, a bunch of kids. So like assuming
Papa.
Yeah, Papa and like the other test subjects here. And then, you cut to, door number 11, and gee, I wonder who's in that one here. So, and then pretty much the teaser ends like right about there. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, we talked about it, I want to say couple weeks ago, that that we were hearing about the show not returning in 2021, that it was going to probably be 2022, but it's like we're in May and you're already releasing like a teaser about this. What gives? I mean, how is this not coming out this year if you're going to be promoting it this early on?
Yeah, I can see it late this year, like November, December, maybe. I don't know. But the thing, we haven't really gotten a trailer. It's just been like this. Might not even be from this season. It could just be put together for teasing period.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that it means something, because we see a bunch of kids. Like, I'm hoping we get to see these kids grown up a little bit, in this next season. Because last season I thought we were going to see more, because in season 2 we saw that one girl, can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But she had like
but
those powers,
the one that illusion powers. Yeah.
Yeah, the illusion powers. Yep. So I'm hoping we see more this season. But yeah, it was just a teaser. I thought it was going to be more. I was kind of disappointed in it, but at least we got a good trailer. Not Stranger Things, but A Quiet Place 2 got a new trailer. No. So it was interesting. It didn't really reveal any more than we already know, other than that they're going to meet up with other people in this movie. So
yeah, and it seems like John Krasinski is going to be a little bit more featured in it than maybe we initially thought, just because they're showing a bunch of flashbacks of like, how things actually went down and what things were like before. Doesn't really show us like really much more than what we already seen from like the previous trailers. I mean, that said, I'm still interested in this movie. I'm liking that the fact that they're not saying like, oh yeah, this is coming out like, like we're pushing this back a month or pushing this back a week. We're sticking with the release date. It's pretty much a done deal. We're going forward with this. So I'm liking that, now we're seeing more and more movies actually commit to a date, as opposed to constantly be in perpetual waiting for something to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that it doesn't get delayed. So I'm guessing they're not, since they keep releasing them, but you never know. Black Superman's happening. With Michael B. Jordan said he's not attached as of right now. But it's pretty much confirmed that they want a black director and then a black lead for this film. No idea what universe is going to... It's going to be in a different universe, because there is a black Superman. I can't remember what Earth he's on. But there is one out there. It's not going to be part of the DCEU.
Yeah.
It's going to be a period piece, kind of like Joker was. We'll see. Tanishi Coates is writing the movie.
Coates.
Ta-Nehisi. Oh, they got to learn how to spell names, man.
Yeah.
Ta-Nehisi. That's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
Coates is writing the movie, who has worked on Black Panther and Captain America comics. I don't recognize this name at all, so it must not be anything recent. They're also looking for a black director instead of J.J. Abrams, which I thought J.J. was just going to produce it. I didn't think he was going to direct it.
I heard a little bit of both. I mean, granted, we haven't gotten really much concrete details on this movie until now. So I knew he was definitely going to produce it, but I thought he was also in talks to direct this as well, but apparently not. So
yeah, I mean, I don't see why they're doing this at all. Personally, there's no need to tokenize another character. We already have a Superman. There's plenty of if you want more representation, there's plenty of black characters. I think we've talked about this a lot of times in the DC universe. So I don't really get it.
Well, not only that, I mean, obviously there has been a version of a black Superman in the multiverse of the DC comics and all that here. But again, that Superman wasn't super prominent or super well known or really made a huge impact
or even popular at all.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I had to actually research to see has there actually been a multiverse version where Superman was black? And turns out there was, but I mean, it's kind of just tucked away for the most part. So I think this is essentially DC just trying to have its own Black Panther, just a big movie that features a black lead, and talks about racial issues and stuff like that. And honestly, it just seems like this is just a straight up pandering move. In all honesty, I mean, I don't understand what exactly the what exactly you're trying to how you're supposed to enhance your movie universe. Because I mean, here's the thing: you got people in the wake of the Snyder Cut that are begging for Man of Steel 2 and the continuation of that here. So I mean, I figured it would make more sense for them to actually focus on building that whole thing up. And then if we want to talk about expanding or enhancing the movie universe you already got, Green Lantern still hasn't really made a full on appearance other than that flashback from Snyder Cut here. So I mean, you could literally bring
other
in
than Ryan Reynolds movie.
Right. You could literally bring in Jon Stewart, a black Marine, to round out that diversity cast if that's what you want to do here. I mean, it would work and make sense. And I just think that they're just so wanting to double down on this whole thing where I'm just yeah, okay. I mean, you do you, but I mean, it just seems like just such a I don't know, man. I mean, just a pandering move, just rather than actually, saying, hey, this is actually a cool idea. Let's actually explore this or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Guy Gardner has been cast in the HBO Max Green Lantern series, and it's going to be portrayed by Finn Wittrock. And this version of Gardner is supposed to be a hulking mass of masculinity and embodiment of 1980s hyperpatriotism. The show's going to have 10 episodes, hour long each. I don't know who the guy is that they got. I saw pictures of him, but I'm excited to get a little bit of Green Lantern news. He's not a big guy though, so I'm wondering. He's got to be hitting the weights right now. I don't know.
I would imagine so. Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, this sounds like the direction that they want to take the character in. Sounds like a Ron Swanson version of Green Lantern, so I'm into it.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I mean, like you, I have never seen this actor really in anything that I can personally remember. I know I think like his big acclaim to fame is like American Horror Story or something like that, but I don't watch that. So yeah, he's kind of an
never heard
unknown.
of it.
Yeah, he's an unknown factor to me. So
Yeah. DC Fandome returns October 2021.
yeah,
So they haven't really confirmed anything specific for this yet, though. Um, but they, from all the digital stuff we had last year, like Comic-Con, all that stuff, this was, for both of us, this was the best one. Like, it was the most well done. It was, you know, um, instead of it just being random, they had a schedule that you could watch certain things at certain times. It was pretty
yeah,
sweet. And just like the stage
yeah.
that they
I,
did, like
I
like it was pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, and it's probably safe to assume that we're going to be seeing, more of the Batman. We'll probably get a new trailer then. We'll be seeing the Flash, so we'll probably get a trailer for that too. Black Adam is currently shooting right now, so I would assume we'll see something for that. And I think Aquaman 2 is filming right now, so good chance that we'll see some footage of that or something along those lines. I mean, hopefully it'll be just as good, if not better, than last year's. Because I mean, last year's I think was honestly the best, kind of like digital Comic Con event that we got. So yeah,
Yeah. And I just recently heard, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but they cast so have you watched the show Young Rock? Have you watched that at all?
I have not.
Okay, so we've been watching it, and it's basically just about Dwayne Johnson's life.
Sure.
But he has three different actors playing him at three different ages,
Okay.
and one's like he's like 10, one he's in high school, and one he's in college. And the guy that plays him in
Okay.
college is actually just got cast in Black Adam. So I'm guessing it's going to be a younger version of Black Adam, probably at the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie, showing how he got his powers and all that stuff. So kind of cool though. He
Probably. Yeah.
does look a lot like him.
Yeah.
It's kind of freaky. So
Okay.
um,
I mean, yeah. No, sounds good for the most part.
yeah. We got more MC movies coming our way. We have a couple new titles that just got released, like I think a couple days ago, which is the
Yeah.
new Black Panther being Wakanda Forever, and then the new Captain Marvel being called the Marvels. Which, if
Yeah.
you watch WandaVision, you obviously know there's going to be more than one Captain Marvel in this movie. So, or at least she might take up the mantle eventually. I don't know. Um, or maybe Rogue shows up. I don't know. But
Yeah.
the showrunners for Falcon Winter Soldier said that there's more movies that we don't know about on the way. So there's stuff they haven't actually released to us that is coming, and I'm guessing it's going to be after Loki and stuff like that. We're going to get probably another announcement, but so it says the quote is, I was surprised about how few of the upcoming Marvel movies have been announced, which he could have just been tooting his own horn or hyping up the what might be coming. It could be just a couple movies, but he went on to say
Yeah.
things become clear to the fans once these movies are announced. So I'm kind of like, I'm not really sure. So basically, the shows are launching us into phase 5 for the most part. That makes sense. But I am pretty sure there's going to be an announcement after Loki and probably more, even another one after Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie at the end of the year. I don't know if there'll be anything attached to Black Widow. I don't think so, since that's like a prequel movie, kind of. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, hard to say. I mean, um, yeah, I mean, it's so kind of going back on like what with the Marvels. I mean, obviously, WandaVision has some ties to that. I'm certain, but also they announced that Ms. Marvel show for Disney Plus with
Yeah.
Kamala
Yep.
Khan. So I'm assuming I would figure
That's
that
got to be part of it.
that's got to be part of it. I forget exactly when they're planning on releasing that show. I don't know if it's going to be before or after. So
Yeah.
if it's after, then it will probably set up the show. But no, that being said, I mean, I'm actually waiting for like an actual exciting announcement for Phase 4 of the MCU. I mean, granted, we just started Phase 4, but I'm needing something to actually get me like real excited for the future of the MCU because so far, WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier just haven't quite lived up to like I don't know, just what we expect from like the MCU previously in terms of like, quality, I guess here. So I'm hoping that, you know, something else is like really coming down the pipeline that's going to get me excited because the movies that we still got to see like for, phase 4 by and large they're not really doing it for me with like maybe the exception of like Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't anything super exciting for me either. I think Spider-Man I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, I'm kind of like, I liked the first movie, but it wasn't like my favorite movie.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll see what happens because we still got Loki, we got Ms. Marvel, and we got the new Hawkeye series. So I'm guessing a Young
Yeah.
Avengers movie is going to get announced eventually.
Well,
So yeah,
especially considering how like they had Isaiah Bradley and I forget like
yeah,
what
Patriot.
right, but like yeah, the kid that was living with him, I forget like if he was his grandson or nephew
Yeah,
or
that's
something like
Patriot.
that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, it's his grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of the MCU, Andrew Garfield has been denying he's in No Way Home, which I'm going to say there's no way he's not because if you listen to like there's been multiple reports and he even said never say never. He quoted Justin
Yeah.
Bieber.
Yep.
But yeah, he's like I didn't get a call type of thing and he's like I would have gotten a call by now and I'm like you're in the movie already. You probably already shot your scenes like
Oh.
especially since
Yeah.
it's coming out in like 6 months, like
Yeah.
you've already shot your stuff, buddy. So
Y-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why play coy at this point?
Yeah.
Everyone knows what
No,
this movie is.
I mean, I think it's just more or less kind of a Marvel thing, just because Marvel has like that whole thing about being very secretive on like movie plot details, even like the smallest stuff here. But yeah, I mean, now Andrew Garfield. I mean, here's the thing, like maybe if you actually. Maybe if they didn't like confirm that they're casting Jamie Foxx as Electro, but not bringing you back,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, but the fact that they are, bringing Jamie Foxx back and not bringing back, the Spider-Man attached to that, I have my doubts. I have serious
that's weird.
doubts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Disney Plus is having a different strategy going forward, it looks like. But Loki is now coming out sooner. It's going to premiere June 9th instead of the 11th, and will air on the Wednesday nights or Wednesday
Yeah,
days, I guess. But
yeah,
which is interesting. I actually like this move going into summer. I think that's why they did it.
yeah,
Because people want their weekends to go camping, to go on vacation, that kind of thing. So makes total sense.
yeah,
I'm about it. We're getting it Wednesday nights now, or
yeah,
Wednesdays. It's weird saying that. We're getting it on Wednesday,
yeah.
but I wonder. I don't know. I was just thinking about this, but they May the 4th was Tuesday. Was it Tuesday this last week or
I
Wednesday?
think
I can't think.
it was no, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
Okay. So yeah, maybe they're seeing like the numbers of Bad Batch. Maybe a lot of people watched it during the early to midweek, and they're like, oh, that actually works. So
Yeah.
But I think it's just for summer,
I
just
actually
because.
have it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Go. Oh, okay. I actually have a different theory on this because I figured like the reason why they released Bad Batch was May the 4th, but they're now, it seems like, releasing all the continuing episodes on Fridays here. So that being said, if they're releasing them on Fridays, they figured, okay, well, we'll actually
Oh, they would. Yeah,
we'll actually like split
that
up
makes sense.
the show a little, or like our show premieres and whatnot. So we'll have Loki on Wednesdays, and then
Different days.
we'll have a Bad Batch, continue to be on Fridays here. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Morbius got delayed again, so was coming out January 21st. Now it's pushed back a week. Why?
What do they expect to change in a week?
This?
Why do
I don't know.
Do they expect the world to be vastly different in a week's time? I mean, last I checked, there's
the only thing I could think of is that there's another movie coming out January 21st that they didn't want to compete with. That's the only thing I can think of. Something else is getting delayed that they're like, oh, we don't want to be on that week, so we're moving back a week. I don't know. I've given up
again,
at this point.
Again, I mean, if that was the case, that would make sense. But I don't think there's really. I mean, I could be completely wrong because everything just gets shuffled around so much nowadays here. But I don't think there's anything that's happening or going on in January other than Morbius here. So I have no idea.
I don't either. Well, let's talk about the COVID box offices or the box office, because there's been some waves over at the box offices.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk through this really quick? Because
Sure.
So I did actually see Godzilla vs. King Kong finally. So
oh yeah.
Which I didn't really like it, but
it's okay.
It is like a 5
but,
for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So anyhow, so going over basically like box office numbers. So this was for about 2 weeks back when we had Mortal Kombat debut and then the Demon Slayer movie debut. So these numbers are, maybe a little outdated, but I think like the point that we're making is actually, significant. So a couple weeks ago, Mortal Kombat debuted number 1 domestically, made $22.5 million. So, and it also made another $27 million.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, internationally. So it made back like what it cost just to make the movie by and large. So that's good. And then Demon Slayer, the hottest new anime right now, had its own movie tie-in called Mugen's Train, and that debuted at the box office for domestic with a pull of 19.5 million. But the kicker is it made 388.2 million internationally, making it Japan's highest grossing movie of all time, which I'm actually pretty surprised by that here, to be honest with you here. I thought like I just figured this was just kind of like going to be like a throwaway spin-off type movie, like how most anime movies are.
Mugen's Train is part of the storyline. Like right after the arc they finished for the anime, that's what Mugen's Train is, the next arc.
Gotcha. So it's essentially setting up the next season. Okay, that makes a little more sense.
It is the next season, basically, is what it sounds like.
Okay. And then Godzilla versus King Kong has earned 400 million worldwide. So, pretty decent numbers for like, some places that don't exactly have like access to movie theaters and all that. So these are very optimistic numbers. I mean, it looks like it looks like
back.
It looks like we're starting to kind of get back to like, in terms of like movie releases, them actually happening and like, being able to go see them in the theater as opposed to either watching it digitally or just having like constant delays. So,
yeah. Yep. So recently there's been a Fortnite leak due to that lawsuit between Apple and Fortnite. There's been a bunch of information that's come out, new skins that they were trying to or are getting. One being the one you predicted, I think, Samus.
Yeah.
Then we're getting LeBron James, which I'm guessing that's tied to the Space Jam movie.
Space Jam.
Yeah,
makes sense.
And then The Rock, which who knows what that's tied to. Katniss Everdeen, that's kind of weird that we're getting her. Naruto.
Yeah, but not as weird as like some of these other ones here. I mean, Naruto, I get. I mean, sure, fine, whatever.
John McClane.
Yeah, Naruto with a gun. Yeah, no, that's
yeah. Let me do a jutsu real quick, and I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyhow, you got John McClane and then Snake Plissken.
Yeah, from escaped from New York, escaped from LA and all that. So yeah. Another piece of information that came out of this is Sony is paying a premium for like the Epic is paying Sony a premium for the cross-platform play on like different devices here. So I mean, that's kind of interesting, I guess. I mean, because Sony definitely didn't want to like, play nice and like, allow cross-platform play to happen like starting off. But anyhow, so going back to this whole like skin thing, because I think that's like the bigger thing. Fortnite is just relentless at this point. Like there's like essentially like almost no franchise sacred enough for Fortnite to not touch here. I mean, and
no,
the thing I don't get is, Epic, like your player base consists of like ages 8 through 12, like the majority of them. These guys have no idea who Snake Plissken or John McClane is here. I'm like, I don't know.
They probably don't even know who Katniss Everdeen is.
Probably not at this rate, no, because I mean, yeah, I mean it's probably a good chance that most kids might not actually know what the Hunger Games is and all that. I mean, that was like probably a little bit before their time.
Yeah. We got more animated Nintendo movies that could be on the horizon. In a recent interview of with the president of Nintendo, they're looking more into movies beside the Super Mario movie that we're getting. Who knows when? But that movie's being made by Illumination. Shigeru Miyamoto is still attached to working on the new movie with the studio, and the animated Super Mario movie is scheduled to come out sometime next year. But who knows what any of this means? We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know anything.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, here's the thing: jury is still out on whether or not I actually want this. I mean, granted, I have not seen like 1 second of the Super Mario movie that Illumination has been working on. So I mean, maybe it'll be great. Maybe it'll be like absolutely terrible. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Illumination here. I mean, that being said, in terms of like what
have they made?
Well, Despicable Me. They made that Secret Life.
Oh, okay, I got you. That's the same one.
Yeah, the Dr. Seuss.
Gotcha.
The Dr. Seuss movies, like the Grinch and the Lorax and stuff. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. That being said, I wouldn't like in terms of like talking about like new animated movies or like properties that they might adapt. I wouldn't mind seeing a Zelda animated movie at some point, but I mean, I would definitely want like probably a different studio to do that, just because I feel like that's going to be like one where you have to.
No. No,
Okay.
I want this studio to do it, and I want Steve Carell to voice Zelda.
Oh gosh.
Not Link, Zelda.
Oh
He can do all
gosh.
kinds of voices.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it might
Let's have Steve
happen.
Carell do every voice in the movie. How about that?
Yeah. Even like the non-speaking parts, like Link here. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll just do the mocap.
He'll probably speak, is what I'm guessing, if they end up doing a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, see that's kind of the thing. Just because, like, that's the reason why I want a different studio. Just because the thing is like a Zelda movie is going to be tough to tackle. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to like actually do. I mean, making it animated is just one thing to make it a little bit easier on yourself. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like something with like the caliber of like a Pixar or something similar to that, is probably more along the lines of like what I think who would actually be able to pull it off. But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, Mario Party is finally online, Dorian, so we could play with each other if you had the game.
I have the game.
Oh, you do? I didn't know you had it. Okay.
Yep. So, yep. So,
okay.
So that's the thing now.
Now we can finally play.
Yes. Yeah.
It came out 3.5. I don't know how many years ago it was, but
about
came out a while ago.
Almost 3 years ago. So, I mean, So
they need more boards, though. That's what I was hoping for with the announcement. They need more boards.
They honestly do. Yes. I mean, that is 110% accurate. Now, yeah. So, I mean, this is a free update that came out about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there. And you can finally play like the actual parts of Mario Party that you wanted to play online with your friends. So, and yeah,
instead of just the mini games.
Right. And it's been almost 3 years since this game launched. I think it came out October or November of like 2018, somewhere around there. So this is a case of very, better very late than never for the most part. My question is, why didn't this happen a year ago with like all the lockdowns and pandemic stuff that was like kind of at its peak? Yeah. Because it would have came out at a perfect time. And seeing how it seems like all they had to do was just pretty much flip a button here and just, unleash the Kraken, and that was it. But yeah. So, yeah. I mean, cool, I guess. That's just,
know about that.
That's just another game to our roster that we can actually play online for game night and all that. But yeah, so
true.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our nerd news. We're gonna head into our roundtable review, Dorian.
So,
what it is?
Well, what it is Mighty Ducks Game Changers. So apparently you've still been watching this show. I haven't heard you talk about it for a little bit. So why don't you tell us about like what's been happening?
Yeah, we've been watching it. It's a fun little show, but the reason I want to talk about this one is if anyone is a fan of the original trilogy, you need to watch this episode. Okay. We get to see some of the OG, the original Ducks. They show up. Fulton Reed shows up. Connie Moreau, Guy Averman, Ken Wu, and Adam Banks all show up in this episode. They're having basically like a Spirit of the Ducks gala with a bunch of cake eaters. It's like a bunch of ritzy rich people. And Bombay runs into Fulton. He runs into Fulton, which is kind of funny how they introduced Fulton Reed, because I don't know if you remember the original Ducks movie, but Fulton's hitting he's slap shotting in this like alleyway, and he's slapping him into a briefcase and misses, hits Gordon's window and breaks it. And so this guy, like, he's driving his truck, and all of a sudden his window goes like that, and there's this guy with a jackhammer, and Bombay gets out of his truck. He's like, "Hey man, watch what you're doing." And he's just like, "Coach?" So it was Fulton. So it was kind of a cool little tie-in to like what happened in the original movie. But
gotcha.
So Bombay runs into him. The original Ducks were planning on going to pizza together, and so they all go and they have a good time. Bombay is not invited to the gala because they feel like he doesn't represent the Ducks well enough. So it was kind of weird. And then the Ducks end up crashing it by inviting Bombay. And then but yeah, it was funny. Like Connie and Guy are married, which they were dating in like all the movies, which I think is funny. Banks is a lawyer. Averman drives a limo. And then no Charlie, but they do mention him. They said he didn't want to come because basically Bombay has abandoned them at this point. So pretty fun episode for Ducks fans, in my opinion. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
Gotcha. Okay. So, but by and large, it has the show been like worth watching for people who, you know, were big fans of like Mighty Ducks growing up, or is it kind of more of like you know, it's just okay?
I think it's a good like family friendly show for sure.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
So
next up on the list, we have BRZRKR issue 2. So this is the Keanu Reeves co-written comic book here about the immortal guy that tends to look a lot like Keanu. So why don't you tell us about like what this issue is about here?
Yeah, so this is a pretty good follow-up issue to the first issue. We get more backstory on the main character. We get like a training montage from when he was a kid. We figure out how he came into existence. Basically, his mom prayed to the gods for a protector because another village, like many other villages, they were basically in a spot where their village was in a spot where it was kind of prone to attack, probably just the times, but. The mom prayed to the gods for a protector, so that they could, stand a chance against these other villages. She's struck by lightning and gives birth 30 days later to BRZRKR. And so
I mean, just real quick. So when you're saying like, you know, the whole, like when this whole is all taking place, is this like in ancient times? And
this is like huts and like hunter gatherer
right,
style.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
many moons ago. So yeah, it was a solid episode. Like you get to see him as a kid just rage and destroy people, but he's basically getting trained too by the village. Like, here's how you fight. Like, and he already has like, you know, super basically enhanced strength, you know, all that stuff. And so, pretty cool, pretty sweet issue. It was my pick of the week, like last week for comic books. So,
yeah. Oh, fair enough. So next up on the list, we have Bad Batch episode 1. So it's an hour-long episode. Brett, you watched it. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over little things that I think are pretty cool. No in-depth episode analysis, but I'll talk about like if I liked it or not at the end. But starts right before Order 66, and so there's this Jedi fighting with her clone battalion. I can't remember her name, but she's fighting, and her Padawan is away trying to find backup because they're getting pinned down basically. And so he shows back up and says, yeah, they're on their way. She's like, how many did you find? And he's like, 5. And so at this point, you kind of know it's the Bad Batch. So they come and she's like, 5? That's it? Like, what's going on? And they're like, yeah. And then so they show up, take him out. And so that's how you're introduced to the Bad Batch. The Padawan's name is Caleb Dune, or I'm assuming it's Caleb Dune. She keeps referring to him as Caleb. And so that is a name of someone who is a main character in the Rebel series, but he changes his name from Caleb Dune to Kanan Jarrus, who is the Jedi that trains Ezra Bridger in Rebels. So, but yeah, basically the order happens. And you find out that these guys, that the Bad Batch are immune because they've been genetically enhanced and it's messed with the inhibitor chip in their brain. And so the clones start turning on the Jedi. and Caleb's there as well, and he's trying to run away after his Jedi master dies. He's trying to get away, and then what's his name? Hunter, the leader of the Bad Batch, kind of goes after him and is like, "Hey, we're gonna try to help you," type of thing. And so Caleb doesn't trust them, obviously, because they're still clones. So he gets away. Hunter lets him get away, basically. And then there's another clone. I think his name is Sharpshooter, the sniper guy, with him, who is kind of off.
Yeah,
like he's like, we gotta follow the orders. We gotta, like, you think basically his chip is still active, but it's maybe not as strong as in the other clones. And so, basically, the Bad Batch doesn't really understand what's going on, so they head back to Camino, where like a lot of the clones are headed, and Admiral Tarkin's there evaluating them, and then basically they escape. They run into a new clone who's also enhanced and is a girl named Omega, and she's a kid, and so they run into her. She has some kind of special abilities too. The Bad Batch are like, "Hey, we got to go back and rescue the kid. Like, stuff's not right." After they were basically sent on a mission by Tarkin to take out some insurgents, and it turns out it was some of their old allies. One being Saw Gerrera, and so he's a young Saw Gerrera's in this with like a bunch of people, some kids. It was like a village. He's like telling them what's actually going on. He's like, the Empire is evil, basically. Like, they're coming after us, and we were loyal to the Republic. Like, we don't know what's going on. And so basically Hunter and them are starting to realize, like, okay, we need to help these people out. We're not going to take them out. And then Sharpshooter dude does not like this. He's like, well, no, we need to finish our mission. And then he's like, nope, we're not going to. And so they leave, and then they basically get captured on purpose to try to rescue Omega, because they're starting to realize they need to get her out of there. And then so basically, long story short, the sniper dude turns on them, and so the rest of them get away. But that's the end of the episode. I thought it was really good. Honestly, I did not expect to like this at all, but I thought it was pretty solid.
Okay.
I haven't seen episode 2, which came out the day of recording this. So I might watch it some other time and review it, or if I like it. If not, I might drop it. But I would say that if you like Star Wars, this is a pretty good episode. It's kind of cool to see like Caleb in it, to see Saw Gerrera, to see what is happening like in these clones' mind who aren't really like normal cloners. So pretty solid episode, though.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, that's it. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out on all our social medias. Have an awesome week, and remember, everyone's a nerd about something.